What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Pro and Bro Wrestling Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Arnold Telegaarda.
And you probably wait for me to what am I going to make up this week, huh?
You always have something ready. You stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, I'm flustered, man, because this is an important episode, Pro and Bro Wrestling.
Yes, it is, man.
Missing No Days Off is in the house. We are in my house, the Asylum.
Yeah.
Is that a positive name? Asylum?
It could be a positive name.
Because you're the compound.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. This is the Asylum. I dig it.
The D Young Asylum.
Yeah.
And this is, a very important episode of Pro and Bro Wrestling. We're going to have none other than David Benoit, man.
Yeah,
and it's very important for us to shine a huge light on David Benoit. And the reason behind this is because I want him to succeed in wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
We're going to hear his story. I always say, don't die with a story and you tell it. And I've met David several times backstage with WWE. And just like I mentioned to you before we went live, the kid always had a smile on his face, you know? He always has a smile on his face. And I just want to get into his head. Who was his favorite wrestler growing up? What's his dream match? What does he think of AEW? Those are the questions I want to ask David Benoit. So this is very cool to do. And then also this week, I'm going to get back into the ring. I got back into the ring last week, and surprisingly, I wasn't as sore as I thought I would be. Because I've been doing this. September 11th will be 17 years, man.
Damn, that's
17
crazy.
years on the dot that I've been wrestling, that officially stepped foot in a ring.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just like that muscle memory is just there. When I'm in there, I'm thinking like that Randy Orton pace.
Yes,
you know, and
yes.
I know what it's like. The pacing is just explosive, selling, registering, make everything count, make every punch, strike count. And I worked out the next day. I was completely fine.
That's good.
No aches or pains, just what maybe a football player goes through in a game. Bret Hart explained it like that on Wrestling with Shadows. He said that's what we feel like after match.
Damn, that was a good documentary, by the way.
A great documentary.
Oh, speaking of Bret Hart, for you guys can't see, I'm wearing the Bret the Hitman Hart shirt that Fred. I'm gonna go this way. Bret the Hitman shirt that Fred got me. Fits really well, man. Bret's
really well.
Bret is the OG, man.
See, I take care of my boy.
Yeah, man.
I take care of my boy. And with David Benoit, we're gonna ask him is he close to the Hart family?
Yeah.
He lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, I believe. So,
wow.
What does he do for work? You know what I mean? I want to know these questions.
Yeah,
you know?
Of course, man.
And I was friends with him before this podcast, and I'll be friends with him after. You know, so I'm rooting for him. And
is your house haunted? I'm hearing so many bumps and creaks on the walls, man. What's going on?
It's windy, man. It's windy,
it's
baby.
the wind. Let's blame it on the wind for my mental sake. We're just gonna say it's the wind, all right? No bad juju around here.
It's just you and I at the asylum. You and I.
What song is that?
I don't know. I'm just making it up.
It's on top of the dome. I like it.
I'm just making it up. But getting back in the ring was great.
Yeah.
Probably tomorrow, I'm still waiting to see if we can go to Santino's and you can see how I work out.
Yeah.
And I think I got it cleared for you to just see what it takes, you know?
Yeah.
Hit the ropes a little bit. See how it feels.
Yeah.
Maybe learn how to take a bump, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's something that, you're my bro, right? You want to be able to experience it, huh?
A little taste. I don't experience it in full blast. But just like a simmer.
Why? You don't want to get hurt?
Yeah, I didn't sign up for that, man.
Because it ain't fake.
That's what I'm saying. I have too much respect for it to be I'm not that dumb to go into a ring and be like, I'll give it a shot. It'll be
You're the Asian Shane McMahon. I'm telling you, man. The way you dress now, we get some ankle wraps, so you don't mess anything up. You can get in the ring just like that.
I wouldn't mind, man. I would get some Jordan brand deals if I was the Asian Shane McMahon. He's got them J's. He's got them collection.
Bro, you can incorporate the dancing if someone's coming off the road.
Oh, yeah.
You do a little uso.
You do a little body roll.
Yeah, body roll, and then you piss off the heel.
Yeah,
he comes charging at you. You sidestep him. He goes over the top, man. You ain't gonna get hurt.
A little road dog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A little showmanship. And you can pull that off.
Yeah.
Baby, if you're with me, I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna let you get hurt.
Okay, I got you. I appreciate that, man.
We're not lovers, we're not fighters, we're freaking bros.
Yeah.
And I take care of you.
I respect that. Appreciate it, man. I know I'm in good hands with you.
Yeah, so stand by on if we can get it in this week.
Yes, okay.
At
Okay.
Santino Brothers. So
Okay.
stand by
I'm
for
super
that.
excited for that, man.
Well, I guess you know what time it is.
Let's do it. This is the interview that I've been super excited for since the day that you told me. You texted me that, David Benoit is down to do a podcast. And if I'm not mistaken, you said this is the first podcast that he's ever been a part of, right?
I think so, but we'll find out about
Sure.
We'll find
but
out about that.
like, regardless, that's huge, man. That's an honor, and I can't wait. Again, I've never met him before, but it goes a long way when you haven't met someone, but you already hear positive things about them. You spoke very highly of him.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho spoke very highly of him.
Well, I was just texting him. He's super excited about AEW, so we'll get his thoughts on
Yes,
that.
yeah.
I said, man, I want to find out where his level is in the ring, and if it's good enough, I want to put a whooping on his ass.
Yeah, that'd be a good match,
I
man.
want to put a whooping on his ass. I always say, I'm not trying to break you, I'm trying to make you, baby. So, you know what time it is.
Let's do it. Hey, what's up, David? It's Arnold, man. So nice to meet you.
Oh, so nice to meet you too.
Have you, is this your first podcast?
Yeah.
First podcast, my man. Well, like I said, I'm glad to be able to talk to you, man. I've met you several times backstage with WWE, and you always have a smile on your face, man. I love it. You always take time to talk with me. We vibed backstage several times, so I was thinking about you because I was in Chicago for StarCast, and I heard you were there. How'd you enjoy AEW?
Oh, I loved AEW, man. Such a good time there. Good quality product. Some good wrestling too.
Oh yeah, really great wrestling, man.
Actually, yeah. I went to their first show, Double or Nothing.
Oh, did you? Double or Nothing, where was that again?
Vegas.
In Vegas, that's right. Did you make like a weekend out of it?
Yes, I did.
David, how old are you now? Are you 23 or 24?
I'm 26.
Oh, you're 26. That's still really young, man. I remember those days. Those are good times. So, did you go to college, and major in something before getting into wrestling, or was wrestling always been the path?
Wrestling's always been the path, but I went to school for what would it be called? Engineering.
No way. That's hard, man. Oh my god. You have to be really good at math to major in that, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Damn, dude. I would suck at that. I love math until freaking letters got involved. When the X and Y started coming, I'm like, I'm done. I'm tapping out, bro.
Yep.
So,
Oh yeah, I hate math. It's a waste of time, but whatever.
So when you were in college, were you already interested in professional wrestling? Were you already training at that time, or were you just strictly a full-time student?
Full-time student.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So after you graduated,
because, yeah, after I graduated, I started training for wrestling, so.
Okay, nice.
Where'd you start training at?
I went to Lance Storm School for a bit.
Wow. That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I love Lance. Lance is a big supporter of my Block the Hate movement. He's a big supporter of equality. Anytime I would see him backstage, him and I would always vibe it out, man. So I'm a huge fan of Lance.
Lance,
Yeah, me too.
Lance is my favorite gimmick. I would love it when he takes the mic and he goes, "If I could be serious for a second," or if I could be serious for a minute.
Yes.
It's so funny. I love that, man. Wasn't he also? Oh no, that was Steve Blackman. Never mind. I thought he was Cheesehead, but that was Steve Blackman.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. But I love Lance, man. I love his work in WCW, his work in WWE. I bought his action figures. Such a underrated, man. He's so underrated.
Oh, absolutely, man. He could have been the world champion for sure.
Oh, for sure. How is he in person?
Oh, fantastic, dude. Straight up.
He's a great teacher too.
Tells you how it is.
Yes.
Nice, straight
Oh,
to the
great
point.
teacher.
I like that, man. I like that. And how long were you training with him?
2 or 3 months.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
2 or 3 months. Like, David, I gotta know. Like, are you having matches? Are you training? You know, like, you got to be in the ring, man, to be the best, man.
I'm just messing around in the ring right now with a couple of guys from AEW. So
Wow.
Good.
yeah.
Those aren't.
Yeah.
That's not a bad situation, man. Just to
No.
those are top-notch guys.
No. Oh, they are. There's some good talent back there. They're hungry, and I can see it.
Yeah. Who are you close with the guys in AEW, like on the roster?
Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yes. I heard Chris Jericho speaks very highly of you, man. I was actually watching an interview that he did, and he was talking about you, and he was saying like how you're just like such a good kid, and he said that there was a moment backstage where it was him and you and Curtis Axel, and you guys were just like chopping it up, and Chris Jericho said he just kind of had to take a minute and like sit back and realize like, wow, like I'm that guy that witnessed their dads like wrestled, and I was also in the locker room with them, and now I'm there with their kids, and he's like the in-between like uncle, that's seen both generations. And like Chris Jericho was like saying like, wait, does that make me an old guy now? Like like am I the old guy in the room now?
Yeah, I remember that. That was in Edmonton too.
That's crazy. That's cool, man.
That was so good. I love chatting up with Curtis.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Curtis, I think he's also underrated because I feel like he's the guy that people go to when they kind of want to shake the rust off. Like The Rock trained with him to get back to get ready to be in ring shape. Like he posted a picture of him and Curtis like training.
Did he?
Yeah.
I haven't been really following, so.
Yeah, no, this was a while back though. This is a while back
was
when
it?
like it was the Rock's like match at WrestleMania or something like that.
Against John Cena.
Yep.
Yeah.
That supposedly.
That was the first one.
Oh yeah. Well, it was supposed to be the only one, right? That once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But they turned it into like a whole thing.
Yeah, I know. I seen that coming though.
So true.
David, I gotta ask you, what would be like your dream match if you could have an opponent with anyone, past or present? What would be like a dream match for you?
My dream match for me?
Yeah.
I'd love to work with Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
Love it.
Oh, I love Eddie so much. I miss that guy.
Oh man, I mean, I'm sure from firsthand experiences you've got to connect with Eddie. Me, I've got to connect with him my first time ever doing a backstage gimmick with WWE. I was a detective and I was trying to swerve the Guerreros and the Bashams at the time. I think this was 2004 or 5, but Eddie was just so kind to me. I was nervous. Vince McMahon was actually in charge of the segment, and I kept fumbling my lines, and I was nervous, and Eddie just said, Holmes, just calm down, just, your nerves, just keep them down. You're going to be okay. You're going to knock this one out the park. He was so motivational to me, man. But for him to be a dream match for you, that's incredible.
Hell yeah, man. I think it would be anyone's dream match.
That's true. What's your favorite Eddie match? If you had to choose.
Between him and my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
classics, man.
Oh yeah.
And it was so scrappy with them. It was just very rugged, and it's stuff I still watch to this day and I've learned from. Not everything has to be so pretty and finesse. it's good to be a little scrappy and rugged, and that's what sometimes I feel is, I hate to say missing in wrestling, but that's something that I like to do. I like to, if I'm going to lock up with you, David, I'm going to work that lock up. We're going to tussle in the corner. I'm going to back up. I'm going to grab my ear like, oh man, this guy cut me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to treat it like it's real. You know what I mean? But I'm going to tell you that beforehand, man, that when that bell rings, it's real to me. And those guys always made it real to me.
Oh yeah, those guys always went out there and looks like they beat the shit out of each other.
It's true, man. And what I love about them is also, I remember like as a 9-year-old kid watching WCW and watching like your dad's match or like Eddie Guerrero. And that at that time, I thought everything was a shoot. At that time, I thought wrestling was real at that age. And sometimes the camera would get super up close and personal to their face, and you hear like little moments like Eddie Guerrero like slapping like his opponent's head and just like talking trash to him, like, you don't belong here, like you're stupid, all that. And to me, I was like, wow, like that is so real. And you never catch them like talking to each other during matches. It just felt like a real fight, and I love that.
That's how it should be, though. You go out there and feel it, and then you just do it.
Yeah, and it was so effortless for them. It just came natural, which is crazy. It's hard.
Or even Dean Malenko, that's the other underrated wrestler.
Yes, man. Keep going, man. Talk about Dean. I love Dino. I love Dean.
Oh, I love Dean. I've seen him in Chicago.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because he's what's his role now for AEW? Is he a producer?
He's a producer.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I remember Fred asked me, like, he was just messing around saying, like, oh, Arnold, if you're a wrestler and if your submission hold was a finisher, what submission hold would you do? And I'm like, Texas Cloverleaf. Like, as a kid, that was like my favorite hold that Dean Malenko did, or any wrestler did, because I always see like so many sharpshooters, like different people doing sharpshooters, the Boston Crab, and to me, Dean was the only person that did the Texas Cloverleaf.
Oh, absolutely. Dean's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. And I love his gimmick too. He's like straight to the point, like no emotion, gets in there, he gets the job done. Former cruiserweight champion. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They dropped the ball on him, so.
I know. Yeah, I thought he could have had a great run with the rest of the Radicals in WWE because, your dad.
That was a great group.
I know, right? Like, that's an insanely, like, intensely talented group. You got, like, Perry Saturn in there. I feel like Perry Saturn was almost like the comic relief, though, in the group as, like, time went on.
I think so.
He's hilarious. What did he have again? Was it Moppy? Is that what it was? Was his gimmick with the mop?
Moppy.
Oh man, good times.
With who was his valet? Tori?
Was Tori his valet? Oh yeah, huh? Kind of forgot about that. Damn. Yeah, I definitely felt like
that was a great group.
That was
underrated group.
Yeah, and you're right. I feel like they should have done more with Dean because obviously, your dad went to the main event status. Eddie went to main event status. They still gave Saturn storyline, but for Dean, it just like abruptly stopped. And I'm like, what? He could have been a great asset to the company.
Oh, 100%. He could have been a great cruiserweight champion.
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, David, I don't know sometimes myself too because I've seen it all, and I can't say I've done it all, but I've seen a lot. I've had first-time experiences where, maybe a wrestling move was taken away from me, or I don't want to get into that because I've gotten into that, but I've had ups and downs in wrestling, but I am very happy with the career I made and the things I'm doing now. For me, I was scooping ice cream before I signed the dotted line with WWE. What kind of work do you do now besides besides any wrestling? What do you do for work?
I work up in the oil and gas industry, so I'm drilling for oil.
Damn.
I didn't know that, man.
That's a lot of money. That should be 6 figures, damn it.
Making some good money.
That's good, man. That's what I love to hear. That's what I love to hear. But from this podcast, man, I don't give a damn who hears it. I want people to be like, man, that David Benoit is an awesome dude. And before this podcast and after, you're my homie. I'm supporting you 110%. I've got my Block the Hate shirt on because in this world, we all receive hate for various reasons. But in order to be strong and successful, you got to block the hate. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Gonna block that hate. I block it all the time.
Exactly, man. That's what I love to hear. And anytime moving forward, man, if you're having issues or you hit me up and you talk to me or something like that, if you ever need anyone to talk to, you know what I mean?
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. I've been following your career since you left WWE too, so you're doing well. I see.
That's awesome, man.
Well, I was in Chicago at StarCast because I had some panels I was a part of, some meet and greets. I wasn't backstage with AEW. I was a little nervous because I don't know, who's running it, who's actually running it. See, I know the WWE system. I know who to go to for tickets, get backstage. With AEW, I didn't want to just show up and get kicked out or something like that.
No, I don't think. Everyone's welcome there, bro. It's a good place to go. I like it there.
Hey, David, are you in Calgary? Is that where you live?
No, I live in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I told Arnold Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Does Brett still live there? I talked to him once in a while.
I haven't seen him in a long time, but...
Oh, you haven't seen Brett in a long time?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But you live in Edmonton. I thought you lived in Calgary. I'm sorry, but...
No, I wish.
Were you close to the Hart family growing up?
No, I wasn't. I know my dad was, though.
Oh, okay. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
I heard from somewhere that when you started training, were you training with Harry, British Bulldog's son?
Yeah, I was training with Harry.
Damn, that's cool, man. How was that?
He's a big boy.
Oh, yeah.
He's good, man. He fucking works. He works you hard and stretches you, and it's good. I like it.
Yeah. He's these days he's been looking a lot leaner though, because I think he's doing the whole workhorse fitness supplement that TJ has. So he's been he still has this mass, but I think he's in better, more better shape now than he was before.
Oh, absolutely. He's looking good now.
Yeah.
Are you in the gym?
Yeah, I'm getting back into the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Man, health is wealth, man. Some people...
Oh, absolutely.
Some people don't like it, but you got to be in the gym. You just, you got a big build from your pictures. You look like you've been hitting the gym.
Yeah, I've been hitting the gym, getting that weight back on, feeling good.
Yeah. What's
my cardio?
What's your favorite type of workout?
I like working arms,
Me too.
Shoulders.
Yeah, man.
I don't like legs, but gotta do it.
You got to do legs, damn it. Don't you damn it. I'm getting pissed now. Do not neglect legs. David, I'm actually taking Arnold to a wrestling school out in LA, Santino Brothers. And I'm doing some matches coming up in the fall, so I just want to get that muscle memory back and just work up a sweat. I'm going to bring Arnold by to have him hit the ropes a little bit, maybe take a bump. I want him to be like the Asian Shane McMahon.
The Asian Shane McMahon.
That's going to be my gimmick, man.
Oh, yeah?
Hey David, do you ever go to Japan shows NJPW or anything like that?
No, I want to go so bad.
Oh, okay. So you never seen Harry's matches with New Japan?
Oh, I watch them all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you just haven't been there in person.
Since 2011.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yeah, that's another. Yeah, they dropped the ball on him over there.
Yeah, well, I heard the reason. Well, better than anyone, but just for me as a fan, I heard the biggest reason why he was so unhappy in WWE is because of all the restrictions. Half of his moves were banned, right?
Got taken away.
Yeah, I mean if Superman can't fly, what is he gonna do? Japan's letting him.
He's in MLW now, so he's doing well.
That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah, MLW has a lot of stars that, I feel like they're almost underrated when it comes to promotions. But people always talk about New Japan, Impact, AEW, but yeah, MLW's up there too. I mean, that's where also the Lucha Brothers got their start too, right?
I thought it was Triple.
Oh, you're right, Triple A. That's right. You're right. Yeah.
Triple A.
Yeah, they were the tag team champs there.
Yeah, they're still the tag team champions.
David, growing up, who did you idolize? Like, for me, I love the Heartbreaker Shawn Michaels growing up. Like, who was your guy growing up?
Who was my guy other than my dad?
Other than your dad, yeah.
I have to say Jericho or Eddie, man.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool, man.
Those are my guys, man,
Yeah.
What current guys do you like? If you see, like, oh man, I love the way he works. Like any current guys, for example, like Seth Rollins or something like that. Just an example.
I haven't been watching WWE.
Well, how about AEW?
I like the Lucha Brothers, man.
Yeah.
Those guys are good. I like I like Pillman Jr.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Who else do I like? I like Omega.
Yes.
I like
Hey.
Jon Moxley. He's good.
That's true, man. Right now, my favorite tag team is the Boy and his dinosaur. They have
They're good.
Dude, they have the funnest gimmick ever. Like on paper, when you see it, it's kind of like, what the hell, right? In 2019, really, but they pull it off, man. I think it's amazing.
They're over.
Yeah, and I just love their entrance with like Jungle Boy on top of Luchasaurus's shoulders. I think it's so perfect. They nailed it, man. If they can make that work, I feel like they can make anything work. What was your favorite match from All Out?
I'd have to say the ladder match.
Oh my God. So I was listening to Edge and Christian's podcast, and they were talking about that ladder match, and of course, being Edge and Christian as one of the innovators for the crazy TLC and all that, Edge was saying that match, he was so entertained, but at the same time, he was so scared for their health, for their well-being, because a lot of the bumps that they took was almost impossible for a human being to do.
Oh, it was. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
It's they're not humans, man. They're really not humans. I don't know how they did that and just go along with their day.
Yep. Nope. I have no idea how they did it. Like that Canadian, the Canadian destroying off the top of the ladder, going through the table. Holy.
But every time you put the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks together, it's almost a guaranteed. Well, yeah, it's always been a guaranteed, a classic hit.
What is? I like Jericho versus Hangman too. That was a good match.
Oh, that was well done too. Yeah, man, Jericho plays a great role as the seasoned veteran heel. I think he plays that very well because that's who he is.
Oh, it is. Absolutely, I agree 100%.
What do you think of his new finishing move?
The Judas effect?
Yeah.
I like that.
Love it.
Just out of nowhere, bro. Just can nail you.
Exactly.
In the face.
It's smart.
Bro, I'm such a huge fan of Jericho now that I'm man, he's got that spinning back elbow. What are some other strikes? Because no one does it. I don't know. I've seen it. Other guys do it like him, but now I'm researching. What are some other strikes that you can hit out of nowhere now? Because Jericho in wrestling has a Midas touch. Everything he touches is amazing.
Oh, it turns to gold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, man. I don't know, man. That guy's just incredible. No words.
I know he's rooting for you. I know 100% sure he's rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Can we see you in AEW? I can't say that. Can we see you in AEW? I want to see you in AEW. I want to see you more out there. I want to be able to wrestle you because I want to shine a big bright light on you. I want to see you succeed. What's your seriousness level? Do you want to go to AEW?
AEW 100%. I love AEW. I love what they do for the boys. You know, take care of them, and I thank Tony Khan for that too. So you know.
Yeah, I mean, their motto. Well, not publicly, but they always say "for the boys, by the boys," right? And I think it's really cool that Tony Khan is like he's a legitimate wrestling fan, man. Like the knowledge that guy has, and from what I heard from interviews, is that he has like the best memory. It's almost like impossible. Like he'll recall certain matches from like New Japan or something, and he's able to tell you the date and what event it was. I mean, who does that, you know?
I asked him a few questions of myself. Believe me, he's like an encyclopedia.
David, I got to ask you, if you could write yourself into AEW, if you had a vision, what would be your vision? You know, because I'm curious as to what you think you'd want to be debuted as, or how.
How? Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know, maybe sneak attack Cody or Jericho or something and just get some heat.
Jericho, yeah.
Or put a crossface on or something, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever it takes to make a statement, you know?
Absolutely.
On Chris Jericho's ass. Chris Jericho's my mom's favorite wrestler. The reason why is one time backstage, Jericho was about to fight Kevin Owens backstage, like a backstage brawl. And like Jericho's talking to my mom, and like the producer comes over and says, "Jericho, we're about to go live in 30 seconds." And Jericho's like, "Wait a minute, I'm talking to Darren's mom." And then he keeps talking to her and stuff like that. And then as they're counting down, he proceeds to do his brawl with KO, man. He's always been nice to my mom and any guests I brought him backstage. So, Jericho is a big fan of I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him too. He's one of my favorites.
Hey, David, have you thought about like little details about? I mean, I know if I was a wrestler, I would think about this stuff. Like, have you thought about what your ring gear would look like? Like, how would you how would you present yourself?
Oh, I already got my ring gear made.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, nice. Well done.
Spent some money on it, you know.
I always admired Shawn Michaels' ring gear growing up because he always has I felt like he always has a new gear every time he wrestles, especially his entrance gear with all the mirrors and everything like that. And I always enjoy that stuff as a fan. I was already looking at that little details.
Yeah. You know, I'd want to do something like my dad, you know, with the claws and.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What Jericho?
Pardon me?
Well, Jericho always said, you know, the more different types of outfits you have, the more action figures that you would have. So that's why, for me, I always had a bunch of gear, Titus and I, because you have more action figures made of you.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree.
I think when you have like an action figure made out of yourself, that's when you know, like, damn, like I made it. You know, for someone to see yourself at like Target and like, damn, like that's it.
That's it. What a moment that would be.
Did you used to collect action figures, by the way, growing up or anything like that?
Yeah, I got a bunch of action figures, never even been opened to.
Oh, man.
Smart. That's an investment right there, man.
Oh, yeah, I got the original 4 Horsemen.
What? No way. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got one with my dad, Dean, and Rick, and I think, I forget the other 2.
When you say
they're all in the box.
When you say the original 4 Horsemen, are you talking about like the original? Or are you talking about with your dad and McMongo?
Oh, I got the original ones, and then my dad Mongo.
Oh, nice, man. I still I haven't seen that like in person before. I always see pictures of it, and like I always like I get so jealous.
Yeah, they're just sitting in in a box somewhere.
That's amazing.
In an undisclosed location.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was thinking I got this idea from RVD because I like keeping a lot of my stuff, like trunks and stuff like that. But I got this idea from RVD that I'm going to do. I haven't posted anything yet, but he says that he loves to give his gear or sell his gear because why have it cluttered in a closet in boxes when someone might want, might collect stuff and they might want to hang it up, and it looks better hanging up than in boxes, So I took that idea from RVD, and I'm going to look into selling some of my not so important trunks, you know what I mean? Like stuff I've won stuff in, like I'll keep those, but I definitely want to maybe, if someone collects stuff, they can buy it and hang it up or whatever.
Oh, absolutely, but I won't sell any of my ring gear that I got laying around the house.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Those are like prized possessions, man.
Oh, they are.
David, is this your first podcast?
It's my very first podcast.
Wow.
Damn. So honored, man.
Well, bro, like I said, I would definitely love to have you on again. Definitely please stay in contact. Like I said, with this podcast and many more, I hope you get a chance to do. I want to be able to shine a light on you. I want to be able to help elevate you however I can, And, I believe you have a bright future in this business and you're just getting started, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate it, dude. It means a lot.
And David, I'll be looking out for that new ring gear, man.
I have it at home right now. I can send a friend a picture of it.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, bro. It's been so much fun chopping it up with you, man.
Thank you.
David, I definitely want to have you back on again, man.
Absolutely.
You got a friend in me. Remember that, damn it. You got a friend in me.
I will remember that. Don't you worry. I got a few things coming out here next year, so.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Any last minute words before we wrap it up?
I just want to thank all the fans, for supporting me, showing me respect, and without them, I wouldn't be where I am. So
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm banned from WWE too, so
Yeah. Cover all the bases,
Oh, I am banned from there, so
Well, I don't like hearing that. Let me just tell you that right now. I don't like hearing that. And that's the reason why I wanted to have you on, because it hurts me to my heart. Let me tell you that. It hurts me to my heart to hear that, man. Because
it hurts me too, but I got AEW so.
You damn right, man. You damn right. I'm almost in tears right now because you as a person have done nothing wrong. And anytime I always saw you backstage, man, you were always smiles, man. And I don't give a damn what is going on. But I'm gonna focus on David, man, and I want to make sure I'm gonna make sure he's okay, man. So when I heard that, it broke my heart, man. That's why I wanted to have you on here. That's why I wanted to have you on here so people could hear that this David Benoit is a good dude, and I'm supporting you 100%. The Block Tape movement is supporting you, bro. That's the reason why this podcast was so important to me, man.
Hell yeah, I need to get one of your t-shirts and rock them up.
Yeah, man. Exactly.
Rock it around town.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll definitely have the owner of Headquarters Clothing that I work with. I'll definitely have them send you one, bro, man, because I'm rooting for you. You know what I mean? People hate on me for being gay. Well, you know what? They can go kiss my ass. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, man. I respect everyone's decision on what they want to do in life. I got nothing against it.
Yeah, so thank you, David. I'll definitely talk to you soon, bro. I'll definitely let you know when all this is up. You watch Pro Wrestling anyway, so you'll know when it's up. We'll edit it down, and I'll reach out to you soon and let you know.
All right, thank you, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
See ya.
He said it himself, man. He said it himself, like, man, come on.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking, man. That's really heartbreaking. He seems like a really nice guy. He's just a super chill dude. And to have something like, I mean, we don't know the full details, but I mean, just from our perspective, it sucks, you know, to have something like that happen to a good guy.
Yeah, you know, like I said, it's not like I've never met David before. I've met him several times backstage, and I'll say it again, he always had a smile, regardless of everything that he's been through,
Yeah.
you know? He always walked backstage with a smile on his face.
Well, here's the thing for me, you know, I feel like you and Chris Jericho are two stand-up guys. So for two stand-up guys to think very highly of someone that I've never met, I mean, like, I don't need any more, like, evidence that, you know, like,
Yeah, I mean,
like he's got, you think he's great, Jericho thinks he's great, and, like, why wouldn't I not think he's great?
that's why the whole goal of this podcast was to shine a light on him. And this was his first podcast, and I think we accomplished that goal. And we'll definitely have him on again. And hopefully other people would be like, let's hear his story, you know?
Yeah.
And he's a quiet guy. I'm a quiet guy. You know, there's 6 billion plus people on this planet. So we're all unique. We're all different. But I think this was money episode.
It was, man. It was. And before we close this out, I think you touched on this briefly, but you got a few matches coming up this year, right?
Yeah, man. They want me.
Yeah. I'm like, damn, it's been, what,
They want
8
me.
months? Like, there you go,
Yeah,
guys.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like, 2019, not by design, not by choice. I've just been busy with a plethora of other projects, but they want me.
Yeah, it's happening. You got so many stuff lined up. It's like
They
when it
want-
hits, it hits.
They want the handsome hustler.
Handsome hustler, yes.
They
do
want the man
handsome
of the
hustler.
hour, too sweet to be sour. Don't count me out. I still got a lot left in the tank. Call me D Young. Call me Fred Rosser. Call me something, baby.
As long as they're talking about you, right?
And if you don't know, now you know.
baby.
Block the hate.
Salute the great. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on our YouTube channel if you're watching us visually, and if you're listening to us on iTunes, make sure you guys give us a 5-star rating and write down a review so we know what we could do better. And got anything else?
Hey man, you paid the bills. That's why you're the host.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.